Peace and love. Hope all is well. Hope you're feeling blessed and safe and high vibrational. So in this video we'll just be connecting with energy and just seeing what messages energy has to bring forward for us. So we'll be using the Witch's Tarot as well as the Oracle of the Seven Energies. I may decide to bring out another deck or whatever, but we'll just go with the flow. In the pre-shuffle there was a message that I was going to leave, but it was coming out very strongly. First we had the Eight of Wands, which was speaking on better days and greener grass, brighter days, more opportunity, more fruitful times. Then we had the Ten of Cups, bringing it to the family. For some reason, energy is saying the nuclear family. But then we also had the Ten of Pentacles come out, which is also about the family. And then we had the High Priest come out, speaking about balanced communication, which also referring to, like, again, better days for the family, which could come from better communication. There's something about closeness in families, or the closeness of families increasing in the future, but it feels more so about the near future. It's almost like a time of coming together, a time of reconnection, a time of embracing, a time of real love, feeling real love due to the world around us. And then we had from the the Oracle of the Seven Energies, this card, Great and Full, which for me was representing and gives me the energy of the Ace of Cups in the tarot, which is about emotional fulfillment, kind of confirming this message of better days for the family. I've just been brought to the religious element of the High Priest card, and we have the Four of Cups coming out. That almost that there's something to be heard, something to be listened to. Again, this card is about balanced communication as well, and the Four of Cups almost is also kind of about, I want to say, emotional communication. Somebody needing to be emotionally expressive. I don't know whether there's like a religious figure or a spiritual figure or a spiritual leader that may need to be listened to. We have at the bottom of the deck the High Priestess, but we also have coming out of the deck Karma, but for some reason I feel like I'm going to pull it back. Oh no, I understand. See, I just got drawn to the moon, and that's funny because the moon is in this card as well. And it's a spiritual figure, a spiritual individual that needs to be listened to or needs to be followed. For some reason it's telling me that the spiritual leader is in the middle and they are to be followed, almost that they are to be supported in the shift of the new world, or in the shift of the light. They are to be supported in shifting this eclipse. Energy is mentioning something about like shapeshifters, and be aware of like people changing around this time, and not necessarily literally changing in terms of shape shifting, but in terms of maybe changing their demeanor, adjusting their personality, or being inauthentic in their expression. Something about be wary. Something about that, sorry. We have the Six of Wands and the High Priestess. The Six of Wands for me is about a approaching cycle, a cycle that we are kind of bringing ourselves towards, a cycle that we've been carrying on our back for some time. With the High Priestess coming out, it's saying something along the lines of it's like all the components are now coming together. Or that all the components are there. So yes, that they're all coming together, but it's not that they're all coming together, it's that it's almost like they're already there. So say you have, okay, the way that the analogy that energy just gave me, or what they just showed me was, say you have a bowl of soup and you have all the ingredients in the soup. Just because all the ingredients are in the soup doesn't mean the soup's ready. The soup then has to simmer. So it's something about this cycle, or this approaching cycle, that all the ingredients are there for it to be complete, yet something about it needs to be marinated. Does that make sense? Maybe that we need to live out the cycle. Page of Swords. When the Page of Swords came out, immediately what I saw was that there's a flaw in the equation. There's a flaw in the equation that needs to be cut out, or needs to be removed. Definitely, Eight of Pentacles needs to be looked at closely. Something about this is feeling worldly and kind of collective. And also something to do with death. Maybe the flaw in the equation is an element to do with death. Maybe our understanding of death or life itself. Or maybe the flaw is actually just in understanding itself, because all the components of the all of everything is already existing, is already here, and it's just about understanding it, or understanding these components, or understanding life. Something like understanding is the missing component. Understanding is the flaw in the equation. A need for understanding, or a need for overstanding, or a lack of understanding is the flaw, if that makes sense. King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. Something about our focus is on the wrong thing. Our focus is upon the materialistic. Energy saying our understanding is that we need money to survive. But what we need to survive is life force energy. Which can come from a multitude of things. I don't know if this is true, but energy saying like, and life force energy can come from music. Music has the potential to hold people in the physical world longer when they are crossing over. And then what energy showed me was like people in emergency states, not emergency states, or people that are maybe on the verge of passing away, and the paramedic or the family member is next to them playing their favourite song to try and keep them going, trying to keep them breathing, trying to keep them alive. And you're saying that's life force energy. the parts, life force energy is energy that connects to the deepest parts of your soul or your beingness or your latest experience here in the physical. No, your latest experience of being in the physical, sorry. The Emperor. Look what he has in his hands. Golden egg, but also the ankh. Symbol of life. Life force energy. Our focus, wow. You see how the focus goes from being what's in this individual's hands to the focus being on the children, on the family, to the focus being on life and life force energy. It's important that we shift our focus from momentary wealth and turn to eternal wealth. Now energy is bringing something that's sometimes, and a lot of the time, the shadow encourages you to focus upon what's not important. And your shadow allows you to focus upon what's not important. That our shadow manipulates us into focusing upon what's not important. Ten of Wands. We're moving to higher grounds. That's with the shift in perspective, shift in consciousness. Also, we will move to higher grounds when we do move our collective consciousness from that of money and materialistic wealth to that of life force energy, to that of eternal wealth, eternal health. We're going to just pull a couple cards from the Seven of Pence, the Oracle of the Seven Energies deck. A deep breath. Sorry, the lightings are so intense. The power of purpose, the rose's kiss. So, we have a deep breath, the power of purpose, the rose's kiss. Really what I'm feeling with that, energy's bringing it to the self now. For some reason, talking about improving the self, going deeper with the self. Energy's saying that like they always speak on going within, and the reason for going within is to find purpose, is to find reasoning. Take a deep breath, go within. The power of purpose, find the power of purpose, find your purpose, 444 on the clock. The rose's kiss. When you find your purpose, that is almost like the rose's kiss. That's almost like finding love for the first time, or experiencing love for the first time. What energy just said was like experiencing like ejaculating for the first time. Purpose is life force energy. Purpose is what keeps the world running. The bees, the plants, the natural world, everything in the world has purpose. The molecules, oxygen, the cycles of nature, everything has purpose and reason. And because humans have this ability to search for their purpose, have this ability to discover and rediscover and redefine and question and choose their purpose, is why it's almost like, because we have that ability, that's how we can become so lost. That's how we can end up having such dark days. Because we get so much choice, we get so much freedom. Whereas this space is saying that, okay, for the natural world, such as the plant kingdom, it's almost like their purpose is just built into, it's almost a part of their DNA, it's part of their genetic or, yeah, genetic coding or biological coding. I don't know the right terminology, but they're the words that are coming to me. And for animals, what energy was actually saying was that, yes, many of them have their purpose like encoded within them, but some of their purpose is dictated upon by humans. And they're saying like animals such as that are used for food or for entertainment. Because I was bringing it to also like depression in animals. Those animals that are just living in a way that humans do not directly interfere with their life do not experience sadness or depression, whereas animals that are kept in captivity or whales that are kept in tanks that are too small, animals that are in lands that are full of like poachers, those animals experience sadness and fear and anxiety and worry and stress, and they're saying more so human like emotions. And it's not human like emotions, they're just emotions, but it's that their experience is that it's basically they're trying to say that the way that the animal is feeling, if one could understand, we would realize that it's very similar to the way that we experience these feelings, if that makes sense. The way that they feel, I can't explain it, but the way that they feel, the way that the chemicals go from their brain and filter out throughout their body. If you like a personal reading, you can find the information in the description box. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, you can do so at I am Naphtali and at @WeTheCollective_ Sacred Reverence. This is speaking and kind of confirming the message that we just gave, the power of purpose, going within, finding the purpose within, because the key lies within the heart. See, the heart has the answers. But to get the answers, one has to put the two halves together. The good and the bad, the yin and the yang. One has to be okay. It's like when one sits to meditate, or one sits, or one actively tries to go within the deepest parts of themselves, one has to be willing and ready to accept the good and the bad about themselves. The yin and the yang. It's about, to unlock is to accept. To unlock the heart, we have to accept the good and the bad. And that we can't escape one or the other, or we can't experience one without the other. that one comes to remind us of the other, that the good days come to remind us of the bad, and the bad days come to remind us of the good. It's funny, we have this, and then we have let it go at the bottom of the deck, but more importantly we have the heart. Quiet in the mind. This is the final card, and really that's just to confirm the message that energy was just giving regarding going within. Quiet in the mind, sitting with the self, relaxing the body, the spiritual bodies, aligning to the heart. Wow, look at the chakra system throughout the center of this individual, but the heart is the star. The heart is the focal point. Again, confirm the messages that we just gave. But if any of these messages have resonated, feel free to like, share, subscribe and join the journey. And thank you for joining me and being present with me. Peace and love. Ashe.